This is practical number 6, principle of animal nutrition. And in this practical, we will perform two things. One is about washing and cleaning of glassware. And the second, we will check the quality of the distilled water. Why washing and cleaning of glassware is important.
Sir, to avoid contamination.
So let me clear you. This is almost similar way as we do washing and cleaning in house or at house. So why we are very much careful in case of laboratory, that is not only the contamination. So washing and cleaning of glassware as well as the area where we are working is very much important. The first reason is if we are not sure whether our test tubes they are clean or petri dish they are clean, we cannot get our desired result. Suppose you are doing some microbiological work and your petri dish is contaminated already with some microorganisms, then it could not be possible to get the results. The same is true in case of nutrition laboratory, like if there is certain amount of acid uh, is attached with the wall of the flask or with the test tube, and you add some base or some other chemical, so you cannot get the desired concentration or your results might be not as you are looking for. So that's why we are very much concerned about the cleanliness of each and everything. So precise laboratory analysis that need a glassware that should be very clean and it should not have any residual chemical in or on it. There are different ways of doing that cleanliness. There are some way of doing cleanliness by uh, simple washing, or sometimes we use certain chemicals to remove those chemicals, and then we need some sterilization, particularly when we are working with microorganisms. So the first thing which we have to do while starting this washing procedure, we have to group all the stuff. Like if there are beakers, so they should be put together, and similarly all other stuff in different groups. The easiest way to get the thing clean is to use a warm water. Simply a lukewarm water that is up to 65 degrees Celsius. We should put all the glassware in that water and then get it out, and then rinse it with the distilled water and get it dry in the oven. But in some cases, there are certain stains or some chemicals that cannot get washed out, or some sticky material that is left with the glassware. In that case, we can use some detergent, simple surf, or some liquid wash that can be used to clean the water. Put that detergent in the warm water, then dip the stuff there, leave it there for some time, and then clean it with some scrubber, and then get it out, and then wash with the clean water, and finally wash the stuff with the distilled water, and then place it in the oven for drying. So that is a neat and clean glassware for future use. So whenever you have done with your practical work, you have to do this practice, so that the stuff, a clean stuff or clean glassware will be available for the coming students. In some cases, there are uh, some stains. We need detergent. So for that, 2% solution of detergent is sufficient for glassware washing. So rub with the fingers, or you can use certain scrubbing material like the Scotch Brite, or even you can use some acrylic or nylon cloth or brush for proper cleaning of the stuff. So during washing, all part of the glassware should be thoroughly scrubbed with the abrasive, and then wash after washing. thoroughly rinse with the running water and make sure that the traces of detergent they have been removed. Now, for a quality cleaning, it is better. Finally, you should wash with the distilled water so that if you are working with the salt or mineral contents in future by using those glassware, so they should be free of any sort of mineral contents. Here is some way how to wash the bearers or the narrow bore pipers. So attach the delivery end of the pipette or burette to the hose and allow the water to run through them. That can result in a better washing of the pipette and burette. So they require special care during this cleaning or washing process because their delivery end is of a very narrow and they are very, you can say, fragile. So you should do this washing very carefully. And an important thing, do not allow acid to come in contact with the piece of glassware before the detergent is thoroughly removed. Otherwise, what will happen if the detergent is there and you put a little acid over there, so that makes a greasy film and that can be difficult to remove later on. So always uh, take care of take care during washing so to get rid of all the detergent. Then you can use that bureau pipette or any other glassware for using it for acid. Then if simple lukewarm water, hot water or detergent, they are not sufficient for cleaning or they cannot serve the purpose, then we can use certain chemicals. Here is the example of chromic acid solution. Chromic acid is a chemical which we can use as a last option to remove stain, particularly those stains which have not been removed by any other treatment. But care should be taken that it should be handled very carefully because it is a strong acid and it can burn the skin. You should be very much careful. Use gloves, apron, and all other precautionary measures to avoid any injury. So for that, the solution can chromic acid solution can be prepared by dissolving 70 gram of sodium or potassium dichromate in a liter of 40% sulfuric acid. When you have a 40% sulfuric acid and then add in 1 liter of that sulfuric acid solution 70 gram of potassium or sodium dichromate. We can also use the concentrated sulfuric acid if the stains they are so strong. For cleaning the glassware, soak it in the chromic acid cleaning mixture for several hours. Then remove it, wash it in under the tap water, running tap water, so that all traces of the acid they have been washed out. Then put it in the distilled water at least for overnight. Then finally rinse it with the distilled water and put it in the oven or heated cabinet for drying purpose. So we can use this chromic acid solution many times until its color changes to greenish. We can use acids like sulfuric acid can be used as a last resort to clean the stuff. We can use 50% hydrochloric acid to remove the stains, particularly iron stains and permanganate stains, potassium permanganate. If we are using that, have a very strong staining properties. So that can be cleaned by using this hydrochloric acid solution or an acid solution of ferrous sulfate. Then we can use the nitric acid. Natural reagent is normally used for the determination of iron. So if there are stains on the glassware, we can use nitric acid to remove that stain. Cleaning of glassware with strong alkali is not recommended because alkali they are highly corrosive and they can damage the glass. So if we are using or giving treatment with alkaline solution, so they should be followed with water, dilute acid, and then water again, so that the alkali have been completely removed. So this is all about this washing. Next, we will go to the distilled water. So what is distillation, or what is a distilled water? So distillation is the process of vaporization accompanied by condensation. I will show you the distillery. Okay. In this in distillation process, we do vaporization of the water, and then that vapors are then condensed. And after condensation, we collect that water. So that water is known as distilled water. Distilled water contain no mineral or organic matter, and it is normally used for all type of experiments where we want to make solution. It may have some air or carbon dioxide dissolved in it that can easily be removed by simply boiling. So in distilled water, you can say there is almost we get a water that is free from mineral and organic solution or organic matter. This is known as glass distillery, and we use it for water distillation, water collection chamber where water is being heated, and then here the water vapors will get condensed through flowing of cold water or fresh water passing through this condenser, and then the condensed water is collected in a glass bottle. So this is the whole distillation process which is being performed by this water distillery. This water is suitable for making solution because it is free from almost all type of salts. This can be seen from this distillery due to this accumulation of salt. There is a white layer. So it means the water which we are collecting as a distilled water, it is free. But for checking the quality of this water, we perform a test for chloride and test for sulfate to check whether this water is free from chloride and sulfate. There are two tests that can be used to determine the quality of the distilled water, particularly for the presence of chloride and sulfate that are common in some cases. We, for the determination of chloride, simply take 5 ml of water in the test tube, then add 3 or 4 drops of nitric acid and mix it. Then add 4 or 5 drops of 5% solution of silver nitrate and mix it. If there is a presence of white cloud or white precipitation, so that indicate the formation of silver chloride and indicate the presence of chloride ion in the water. Usually, this chlorination is a common practice in drinking water. But if you are using that water for distillation, and at the end you have to test the quality of distilled water by using this nitric acid and silver nitrate. In that case, you have to be sometime notice that even after distillation, this chloride is present. So that is due to the presence of high amount of chloride in the water. So if chloride is present, so that water is not suitable for any experimentation. Though this white precipitation is soluble in common hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, but we are not concerned with this. For chloride, first of all, take 5 ml of water. So I have taken 5 ml of tap water in one test tube, and in other test tube there is again 5 ml of water. Then add 3 to 4 drops of nitric acid. I will put this is nitric acid, only 3 to 4 drops of nitric acid.
take care of result. So after that, add 5% solution of silver nitrate. So this is silver nitrate. I have prepared 5% solution of. The solution can be prepared by adding 5 gram of sulfuric acid and then making the volume up to 100 ml. So only put a few drops in each slide. Not put few drops in each test tube. That. So this is the first sample of water. It is taken from the tap water. Only few drop of 5% silver nitrate solution. I have put few drops and you can see the formation of white precipitation. So this clearly indicates the presence of chloride in the tap water. This is another sample of tap water that contain 3 to 4 drops of nitric acid, and now I am going to add few drops of silver nitrate. So if you look at this is again a tap water sample, and here there is a little white cloud that indicates the presence of chloride in the water.
So if there is a chloride, we have to discard that water. Then next come about the sulfate. So for this, you have to take about 10 ml of water in a test tube, then add 4 to 5 drop of acetic acid and mix it. Then add 5 to 6 drop of 10% solution of barium chloride and then mix. Again, if there is the formation of white precipitation or white granular cloud, that is due to the presence of this barium sulfate, that indicate the presence of sulfate ion. So we can test these two mineral element in a distilled water. So these are the two common problems with the distilled water. So that's why we have to perform and to check the quality of the water. So this is all about the distilled water.
Of sulfate content in water. Here we have 3 test tubes. 2 contain tap water and 1 contain distilled water. So these 2 contain the tap water. So take 10 ml of distilled water or the water to be tested in each test tube, then add 4 to 5 drops of acetic acid. So this is acetic acid. I'm going to add few drops. This one is 10 ml of distilled water. The next step is to add 10% solution of barium chloride, 5 to 6 drops of 10% solution of barium chloride. So it can be prepared by adding 10 gram of barium chloride and making volume by using distilled water. So take 4 to 5, take 10% of barium chloride solution and then add 4 to 5 drops